Well, it's time for me to have story time. Anyway, it's been several months since I had something to say. And I've made a big move back down to Texas. And it's live music. Just stay away from there because that's gonna mess up my quality of my video. Anyway, I've moved back down to Texas. And I'm in Austin again. And Austin is a place where I felt safe in the first place. I don't know why I didn't just figure out how to stay here when I was here before, but I do believe that everything does happen for a reason. And I at least achieved accomplishing some major goal while I was up in Michigan. And I didn't know it was a goal until I got there, which was getting my CDLs. And I feel a lot better about coming back with that. Even though I'm still a hairstylist and always will be. But right now in Texas, my license has lapsed. So I have to focus on braiding and locks, which is not regulated here. I'm gonna focus on employment and braiding along with locks until I figure out how long it's gonna take me to test for my Cosmo license and where that is gonna take me. But why did I move? Okay, so I was in Michigan and I kept anxiety the whole time that I was there because my living situation and my job, I didn't really feel secure on either one. I always had anxiety, either dealing with the people I was living with or anxiety coping with the management team that I was under in Michigan. And that was any job that I was on. However, Walmart didn't give me as much stress as the Walmart management team did not give me as much stress as some of the employees or some of the customers. Okay. It's when I moved on to the bus company that I started to get really stressed out because people and their shit. And so it wasn't that bad of a place to live. It just wasn't that great of a place to live. And it snowed a lot. And I had to cope with catching buses, and over in Michigan, you could end up catching 2 or 3 buses to go somewhere. And sometimes it was convenient if a bus like got down to the terminal and turned into another bus and you're already on the bus, but still you have to wait 10 minutes or so for that bus to take off and take you somewhere else. So it kind of sucked to be in bad weather up there. And renting rooms was the worst. You never know who you're going to be living with, and at the drop of a dime, someone can give you a 30-day notice and ask you pretty much just to move. That's legal there. And as far as finding an apartment, that was impossible. After looking for a whole year, I gave up. And so I made a plan. I applied for one more place and decided that if I didn't get that one more place, that last place that I applied, I was going to leave. Well, I wasn't sure exactly where I was going, except for I thought about going back home to Seattle, and I thought about going to a couple of places. So the kicker for me was, where can I go that I can actually rent with my rental history and my credit? With my rental history and my credit, I could not rent anything in Michigan at all. Not a dog house or even a roach-filled house. I couldn't, not that I was looking for roaches, but I couldn't find nothing. And so my next choice was to start seeking housing in other states. So in doing so, I found properties that would consider me, but I had to pay all these fees to get into the places. And then I thought, no, that kind of sucks. What if I lose my money? So I didn't want to lose my money. So what I did was I tried another place in Austin, Texas, outside of Austin actually, because it was based on a job that I wanted. And it would take them about a couple weeks to respond, to tell you even if you had the job. So I applied for a job, and I knew it would be a couple of weeks before someone reached out to me. However, in waiting for them, I said, well, let me look for an apartment. So in looking for an apartment, I called a place that would be near that job, and actually walking distance. It would be a pretty nice place. It was more expensive than what I'm in right now. And I ended up talking to a real estate agent on the other end of the line. And she said, well, before I settle on that place that I was looking at, that she ended up answering the phone to on the other end of the line, we looked at some other places, and the only thing I really needed in my life really was a washing machine, dryer, and a bus route, because my transmission blew up doing Uber. And I'll talk about Uber later. But she said, well, with your credit and your rental history, I've got several places that'll rent to you, and they're fairly nice. It's like, really? Okay. So the real estate agent, she said, I've got some ideas of some places that would rent to you. And I said, okay, I'll try it. Sight unseen. I didn't even see the place. She just told me where it was, and that it would come with a special, a move-in special. So the move-in special was $1,000 off. Oh, they got barbecue going on down there and music. So anyway, I was kind of doubtful. I was like, it's not going to work. You know, I was thinking it wasn't going to work, but it actually worked out just fine. And it happened within a few days. I was so shocked. I wasn't intending to actually even move that fast. I was planning to wait a whole nother month. But when she told me, well, you have the apartment, all you have to do is this or that, and it was easy fix. I was able to do those things, and I did them as she asked me to. Oh wow, they blocked off the street. It's going on down the street there. It's a big serious build going on down there, so that's where the music is. So it's St. Patty's weekend, and people have been walking around in green all weekend. But anyway, back to the apartment. They told me like 72 hours before I moved in that I had the place, and I said, okay, I gotta get out of here. So I started making moves. Plus the landlord, he was real pissed that I hadn't left and picking arguments with me. And I thought, what the hell? You know, what am I gonna do if this bastard calls the police and has me hung up some kind of way, going to jail? My dog goes to the pound. When I come back, my stuff is either locked up or sitting outside. I said, the best decision right now is to pack this shit up and get out of here. So that's what I did. I got on an airplane with my dog. I didn't even have the time to have my dog get used to the kennel that he traveled in. He was traumatized. And it made me cry because he was crying at the airport, locked up in a kennel that he wasn't used to being in. This was a travel kennel. He had a kennel that I left behind, so now I just have to trust him for a while to see how he does. But in the past, he would tear stuff up when he was home alone too long. And then I had to start putting him in a kennel. And now he doesn't have one. He has the freedom and a puppy pad if he needs it. But he hasn't needed it. No matter how long I've been gone, he hasn't needed it. And he seems to feel more at home in this place. He's not freaking out because people are on the other side of the door walking back and forth and not paying him any attention. He knows our place is our place, and that's it. So once I got down here, I had 4 pieces of luggage, and that's it. I've got 10 boxes that are going to be shipped to me of belongings. And then I've just got to get some furniture. I really didn't have that much furniture anyway, just a desk and a table, and I left that behind. I mean, a desk and a chair, and I left those behind. So I got here, got to the apartment manager building, which is a different building than where I actually live. And got my keys and my fob and moved into my place. And this was better than any place that I lived in Houston. It's not the best apartment because my best apartment was the loft apartment that I had down on Elliott in Seattle, where I could walk up and have private space away from, it was a work-live loft. And that work-live loft was the coolest apartment that I had. It was down on Interbay, lower than Queen Anne. That was one of my favorite locations. And then I did like the location in downtown, but it was an old brick building. It was just nice to be near shopping. In this location, I'm near shopping, but I'm in a fairly decent building, and I feel safe there. You do have to use a fob to enter the building, and it feels at home. People are friendly all over the place. There's all sorts of people here. I don't see myself living this same life in Michigan. I see myself in Michigan if I was to stay there, if I could have found another room to rent. Living kind of meagerly, renting rooms. And that sucked. I didn't even have to show that I had a job to move into this apartment. I moved into this apartment with the job I had in another state. But I kind of lied. I said I was transferring. And I did overtime for the last two or 3 months until I got to the point of saving a little bit of money, using my tax return, and getting the hell out. So that's how I got to Austin.